we go.
Boy Reviews!
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Born Review headquarters. Today I have a special type of review for you. I'm going to be talking The Village. That's right, The Village. It's a 15-year-old movie. It's a movie that isn't really spoken about too much. It's not in the media right now, but it's a movie that I absolutely love, and I gotta make this video to talk about it because there's so much hatred for it. But I believe I know why there's so much hatred, and I'm going to delve into that deeply today. Let's talk about why there is hatred for The Village. The Village came out in 2004, 15 years ago, and its marketing campaign, its promoting strategy led to a lot of disappointment. It was marketed as a horror film. It was marketed as a suspenseful thriller, like The Sixth Sense, like Signs. But this movie is not a horror movie. This movie is not a thriller. This is a psychological movie. This is a movie that talks about what a parent and a group of parents are willing to do to keep their children from going through the same type of pain that they go through. And as a father, I love that. I love a movie that focuses on how can we make life the best for our kids. And the reason why I love that idea is because as a parent, you think about trying to protect your children at all times. But there comes a moment, hopefully early on in your parenting, that you realize this is impossible. My children are going to go through hard times. My children are going to suffer to a certain degree, and there's not much I can do to prevent it, but I can hopefully be a supporting system. So this movie dives way into that, and that's the whole premise for this movie. People are mad about this movie because they think the plot is weak. Because M. Night, and I call him M. Night because I can't pronounce his name, and he doesn't mind being called Night by those interviewing him. M. Night, he has a history of giving us that big twist, and I love it. It's inspired me greatly in things that I've written on my own and ideas that I've had in my mind that I have not written down yet. I love the idea of a twist, and he really gave it to us in The Sixth Sense, and we've been asking for more, and so he provides a twist in this movie. It's a twist that I appreciate. I really do. And some of the hate for this movie is that the twist was created in such a way to where the director had to go out of his way to put certain parts in the movie that wouldn't naturally be there. And I completely disagree with that. Everything in this movie is meant to either build suspense, is either to have us feel the fear that the characters are feeling. Not so much us feel fear, but feel fear for them. And it's meant to teach us a lesson. Okay? What is that lesson? In my opinion, the lesson of The Village is that we can't control everything. We can't. So let's talk about some of the characters in this movie. And these are characters that I absolutely love. I feel like these are all-time characters. Let's start off right there with John Hurt's character, Mr. Walker. Mr. Walker is the head elder, we're supposed to believe, of this village. And he seems to be very compassionate. He seems to be very loving. He seems to care about those in which he has stewardship over. And John Hurt gives a great performance in this movie. He gets me every time. The speech he gives to his fellow elders when he's talking about breaking some rules that he himself established and they've agreed to, I love that speech. Where he talks about fighting for what this place stands for. I absolutely love it. It gives me chills every single time. He is a father of two. He is a husband. He even has a secret that he doesn't want getting out. But because he loves his wife so much, and he respects her so much, he never entertains that idea of that secret that he has. John Hurt gives an amazing performance. His daughter right here, Ivy Walker, played by Bryce Dallas Howard, who is the daughter of movie director Ron Howard, she gives a phenomenal performance. This is probably the first movie I can think of that she was in, and man, she really, really brought it. She gives a phenomenal performance. She does a great job. She plays Ivy Walker, who is blind, who is independent, who is outspoken, and knows what she wants, and that is a great character. That is a character that we can easily get behind because she is the type of daughter, she is the type of person that we as fathers want our daughters to become. We want them to be able to have a difficulty, or even a disability like she has where she's blind, and to be able to overcome that leaps and bounds and still become a very wonderful person. I love the lines that she has in this movie when she's talking to Lucius about how she knows that he really likes her, but she doesn't want to talk about it. And she keeps saying, you know, I know you want me to tell you your color, but I'm not going to. It's not ladylike. Stop asking. And he's just sitting there because he's super shy. I love it. She performs greatly. And I believe without her performance in this movie suffers somewhat. She really makes you fall in love with her. After I watched this for the first time, I really fell in love with that character, and I was so glad that she was in that movie. She just makes it so much better. And then right here we have my favorite character in the movie. Just a little bit more than the other two I mentioned. Just a little bit, but we have Joaquin Phoenix, who typically plays that creepy character. He's got the Joker coming out. The movie looks phenomenal, by the way. But he typically plays that creepy character, but not in this movie. He plays a humble, quiet, reserved hero. He plays a phenomenal hero. I keep saying that word phenomenal, but I just love his performance. He really makes you believe that he is in love with Ivy, even though he doesn't say too many words. He has one set of lines where he talks about his feelings for her, but we definitely believe in their love. Joaquin Phoenix is only in this movie for less than half, but he spends that less than half of a movie with the little amount of dialogue he has, and he really puts on an acting clinic, and he really establishes himself here. And I just adore his character every single time I watch this movie. Let's talk about some parts of the movie that I love that aren't those actors, those characters. Right here, James Newton Howard. Holy cow, James Newton Howard. I'm scratching my head because you would just, you make me think with the music that you provide. Music is a huge part of movies. And James Newton Howard, who does a lot of nice movies, if not all of them, he provides this beautiful, comforting violin music when our characters are going to be safe. He spoils it for us. He puts in that music, and every time it's in there, that I've noticed, the characters end up being safe. He'll put in some other music, some drums and some whatnot. Not a lot of drums, but a little bit, but some more intense music when there's suspense. But when they're about to be safe, or when they are safe, he throws in that violin music. And I absolutely love it. It goes perfectly with this movie. It goes perfectly, just like in my opinion, root beer goes perfectly with pizza. It goes perfectly with this movie. I love it, James Newton Howard. You did an amazing job, and you really make this movie so much better. But let's talk about the director, M. Night. Let's talk about how he did not ruin this movie, but he made this movie what it is. He wrote, produced, and directed, obviously, but he gives us a movie that has such little dialogue, that has very little action. And sorry, Michael Bay, there are no explosions, but M. Night gives us a movie that has so little, I don't want to say substance, but maybe context is the right word. But man, we can sit there and we can fill up volumes within our mind of ideas and of messages he's trying to give us. And that is what makes a great director a great director. They don't have to have the characters tell us that they're scared. They don't have to have the characters tell us, hey, I like her. But they have us experience that and infer it on our own through the little bit of subtle plot points that they put into the movie. The dialogue is not wasted in this movie. Not one line of dialogue is wasted. Everything is in there. And talking about the dialogue, I love the style of communication these characters have. Like when Mr. Walker goes to Lucius, when Lucius admits that he went into the woods and he says, "Do not fret. You have a fearlessness that I will never know." I love that style of writing. I would pay money to go to a class to learn how to do that style of writing with that period piece type drama. It's phenomenal. So everything combined, the characters, the dialogue, the music, the direction, it makes this movie fantastic. But let's talk about the overall themes once again, about how parents will do whatever it takes in some instances to protect their children. And in this case, it did not work. People still got hurt. People still died, as we learned about in the movie, through other causes. And it's an amazing job that M. Night does. I will say, though, as a counter argument, because I'm not just all gushing about this movie, I do have a counter argument here. I do have a problem with the fact that at the end of this movie, the parents were still able to control all crime. That is impossible, in my opinion. In society, no matter what you build and what parameters, you take away money, everyone works together, you're still going to have independence with their thoughts. You're going to have rebellion. You're going to have crime. And they're able to control all the crime. And the only crime that happens is by Noah, played by Adrian Brody, who, because of a disability he has, is the only reason why we have crime. I think that's a little weak. I do. I agree with you on that one. That's a little weak. But everything else in this movie is absolutely phenomenal. It is a beautiful movie. And if you sit back and if you watch it, and if you got to be awake when you watch this movie, and you give it another chance, I'm curious if you would give it a higher grade than you previously have. Because of that bad marketing campaign, and when you went and saw it, and you realize this is not what I thought I was going to get, what is M. Night doing? He's trying to be too smart for the room. I'm pretty sure it frustrated you. And I'm pretty sure a lot of you watching this have not watched it more than that one time. Please give it another chance. In my opinion, this is a classic. This is a beautiful film that I try to show as many people and try to convince them that it's wonderful. So that's why I'm making this video today. Please give it a chance. And let me know in the comments below why you weren't so happy with this film. Is it not because of the marketing campaign? Is it not because it's not really that scary or you didn't like the twist, but for a different reason? Please let me know. I definitely don't think it's a perfect movie, but I think it is, once again, what's that word? Phenomenal. That's right. This is a phenomenal movie. There is another video that I've seen in the past that talks about how great The Village is. And I did not intentionally take any of those points from that man who created that video. I watched it maybe a year ago. But I'm going to put the link in the description below so you can check out that video as well, because he does a really good job, maybe even better than I do, in describing why The Village is actually a fantastic film. One last thing I want to talk about is the use of color in this film. M. Night has always done a phenomenal job by using color as one of his characters to make us feel certain emotions. And he definitely does that with the bad color. That's right. What's the bad color? That's right. It's the color red in this movie. And red is such a great color to use as a character because it pops out. It stands out. There's a scene where Ivy is in the woods and she's running away from a creature, and she's standing in the middle of the woods with these red berries surrounded all around her, almost like on twigs. They're not really bushes, and these are just sticking up out of the ground all around her. And it enhances that suspense. It enhances our understanding that she is terrified in that moment. And since we're talking about this, a lot of you probably are going to say, that's my problem with it. She knows the secret. She knows the twist. Her father already told her at this point. Why is she afraid? Well, I believe the reason why she's still afraid, I don't believe it was an error by the filmmaker. I don't believe that it was a retcon. I believe that she's still afraid because she tells Lucius earlier in the movie where she has expressed the fact that she is a little scared. That she wants to do that game that those boys do, but that she's impressed that he's able to last so long and he's not afraid, and that she would be afraid to some certain extent. And so we see in that moment that, of course, she's blind. She can't see what's going on around her. She hears footsteps. She knows something's after her, and she doesn't understand why. She's worried about the man she loves. She wants to get him help as soon as possible. Someone's standing in her way. She's completely stressed out. She's alone. I can buy why she's afraid, even though she knows the truth. I love this movie. So much tension with doing so little. So many beautiful moments. And that's what this movie has. It has a whole lot of heart. It has a whole lot of themes of love. Whether it's a father loving a daughter, whether it's a mother loving a daughter or a son, whether it's young love, whether it is friendship, whether it is love for the entire community. Everything in this movie is predicated upon love, and that is such a beautiful message. Those are my thoughts on this movie. I would love to hear your thoughts. I really want to know what you think, and I'm hoping you'll give this movie one more chance. And if you do, then come back and comment below and let me know what you thought. Let me know if maybe I helped convince you just a little bit closer to it being a great film if you didn't think so before. I'm going to give this movie a grade of an A. That's right, an A. I'm not giving an A+ because I do have a few small minor flaws. It's not a perfect film. A+ are just for those perfect films. But if you've been watching my reviews recently, then if you've been following me on Facebook, then you know that me giving a movie an A is a rare thing. And it's a beautiful thing. This movie definitely deserves that A. All right, if you haven't done so already, go ahead and subscribe to this video. I'm going to be constantly bringing in the videos, the reactions, the reviews, and I got a few other things planned that are different than just movie reviews that hopefully you guys will enjoy. Please share this and like it. And until next time, adios.